What's up, people?
What's going on? We are live.
Friday.
Happy Friday, my dudes. That's not it, but
No, it's not.
it's Friday. It's the first. We're down one match. I'm already loopy.
We are officially at the halfway point of matches. That is
Are we?
Eight down, 8 to go.
Okay.
2, 2, 3, and 1 is 8. Yeah, we have officially reached the halfway point in number of matches, but certainly not in amount of time. We're gonna cram them in here between now and Sunday afternoon to get the rest of these 8 matches in. It's gonna be sweet. So we're here at VNL Ottawa. My name's Rob St. Clair. This is Everett Delorme. We've got 4 matches to catch up on, 3 from Japan overnight, and 1 that we watched just now, where I think we should start.
You want to start with the Dutchies looking damn good.
Yes, the Netherlands
Dutchies looking good.
3-donged Germany.
A 3-donger for the Dutchies.
They have 3-donged them.
It wasn't easy.
No.
They had to come from behind in the first and the second.
The second went deep into overtime.
The second went deep into overtime, well into the 30s. Lots of drama considering the serve timer. It was a bad officiating performance from our Mexican friend. Namir should have been. I mean, I agree with Namir for the reasons that he was voicing his displeasure and his concern, and we did talk to Martin Van Garderen after the match about kind of some of the issues with the serve clock, but with the amount he was talking to and like just going up to the table and talking to other referees and other officials, it should have been a card hands down.
100%. Yeah. And I think that's exactly what Namir was going for. Like it's almost like in basketball. Sometimes your coach getting a technical foul is a good thing.
You want to get ejected.
Yeah,
exactly.
I think that Namir was trying to kind of get a yellow card, and the officials didn't do a good job of controlling that because I think they knew they were in the wrong. I think there's been so much other than when the ball is in play, all these interruptions this week, the challenges have been painfully slow.
Yeah.
And then even when we do get the challenges in, the call that is made according to our Bolt 6 friends is not correct.
Yeah,
and
it's not
official
always
has
correct.
to spend all this time looking at it himself to make a call.
Yeah.
The rogue buzzers, although we didn't get any rogue buzzers today, we did get the serve clock that just doesn't seem to be operating consistently.
No.
In how it's being timed and when that timer starts.
Yeah.
Like it hasn't been a smooth operation here this week.
No.
Although this match was pretty good.
Yeah, it was a pretty good match all around. I also think that Namir was trying to get himself going because he did not have the greatest match.
No.
He was 9 for 23 offensively, but only 4% efficiency. Like 0.004 efficiency. He wasn't great, only 13 points overall, but instead Martin Van Garderen stepped up. He was massive, 21 points. He had a 50% efficiency, four blocks, 2 aces.
Gigantic performance,
and it was a really clutch one. I think this was a massive win for the Netherlands. They've gotten 6 points out of their past 2 games, 6 points out of three matches so far. And if you had told them at the beginning of this week that they'd be 6 points up after playing USA, Cuba, and Germany, they'd be really happy with that.
Yeah, I agree. I think they would absolutely take that. And we were again sitting right behind where we are right now watching this game, and during that second set as it was on its way to going 33-31, we both kind of agreed that if Germany didn't take advantage of the chances they had and win that set and they were going to go down 0-2, it was over. And it absolutely was.
Yeah.
As soon as the Netherlands got on the board there, as soon as they got separated 33-31, it was over. Wieniawski made wholesale changes to start the third set, and they made a decent comeback on Brema's serve late in the third, but the Netherlands had control the entire way. And when you have chances in overtime, when you have that many set points, and then you lose and you go down 0-2, it's difficult emotionally to come back from that.
Yeah, absolutely, especially since they led in the first and they led in the second, and you could kind of the energy around Germany is much different than last year. Last year, they had their guys, they had Fromm, they had
Zanger at libero.
Zanger at libero. They didn't have some of the other pieces, like there was no Kampa, no Moritz. Was Whitecard here?
He was
here. But I really think that P2 position right now is really a hole. They have had Eric Rohrs there for a little bit. They brought in Tobias Brand in the third set, and really nothing's been working. And then having Ruben Schott as the libero is really just limiting them right now.
And it's not because Schott is playing badly at libero. Usually he is the reception libero, and then this little kid Graven is the defensive libero.
Child.
And he looks like a 12-year-old. But yeah, Schott's passing the ball fine, but they kind of need him on the left side as much as we kind of clown on him during club season. His serve is really good.
Yeah.
And he makes terminal decisions and out-of-system plays. And I think that and you brought it up, that Roars, although he did make one really good play in overtime in the second, other than that, he could not terminate. He was really struggling to terminate. Every ball they set him was slowed down and run right back into Germany's throats in transition.
Yeah, and I mean, Brand came in and was just as bad. He was 1 for 6
Yep.
got blocked twice, and I also thought Linus Weber didn't have a day today. He was 7 for 18, -6 efficiency. Just no aces as well. Only 1 block. Germany's really struggling right now. Germany's really going through it. I wish we were playing them sooner rather than later, because now
now you get in the last match of the week.
Last match of the week. Maybe they've kind of made some things a little bit better, but it's a much different look for Germany this year than it was for last year, and you can kind of tell Winiarski is going through it a little bit.
Yeah, he is not a happy camper. I mean, you go 1 and 6 in sets so far with 0 points. Yeah, you're obviously not going to be thrilled, but Germany led midway through, kind of so they led 13-10 in the second, and they had a similar lead in the first, and that was about the spot where they started to let things slip away. That wasn't any one area where I would say that they were bad. Just like their side-out offense wasn't quite good enough. They didn't play very good defense.
Their serving is no aces today.
Zero
wow.
Aces. Zero aces and
for
18
Germany.
Service errors. Yeah,
so
that's tough. I did think Anton Brema was good.
Anton Brema, to me, is their best player right now.
I agree.
Yeah, he truly is. I think you messed up picking Massa over Brema in your draft the other day, because Massa we've barely seen, and Brema has been fantastic.
Yeah, Brema's been brilliant, and even serving, not necessarily in this match, but he was pounding balls.
Pounding balls.
And there was, I love when middles do this, where they have like a string of a couple points, like Grozdanov did it the other night, like kill, stuff block, stuff block. I think Brema had one that was stuff block, straight down kill, stuff block, 3 points in a row, and it was cool. It's fun to see those strings, but that's about all Germany's gotten. The service pressure not enough, reception not good enough. 21% efficiency as a team on offense, not good enough. And they had set points in that deep overtime in the second and just could not produce a break point.
There was that one point in the second there. It was late into overtime and with points, and Namir got that swing. And there's it was an out-of-system play for the Netherlands. Namir got a swing, 3-man block in front of him, and he kind of just chopped it inside the block with like a 60% shot, and it was within Weber's wheelhouse for defense, and he let it fall.
You got to take that ball.
And that's when the Dutch took the advantage. That, to me, was the turning point for the Dutch, because they kind of didn't look back after that.
Yeah, that ball's got to get dug. Question in the chat, is Germany a challenger team? No. Fortunately for them, Germany is not a challenger team. They will not be relegated. Netherlands is a challenger team, and now after kind of getting stomped by the United States on day one, they now have 6 points and look pretty good. So I'm impressed with the Dutch. They've responded really nicely, and to win a match like that when Namir wasn't his best is really big for them.
Yeah, I think that's huge. I mean, we talked to Lucarelli last night after the Brazilian match, and he said it was the same thing. It's important to win matches when you're not at your best, right? Good teams win matches when they're not playing their best, and that's
so to speak. They figure it out.
They figure it out, and that's exactly what the Dutch did today. I mean, Piazza was in great spirits. Piazza and I are becoming besties.
You are. I love it. It's awesome.
It's this weird dynamic now that all of a sudden me and Piazza are good friends, and I might have to change my stance on him coming into the club season. Maybe if they get another win and we interview him again, I might ask him, like, can we call you up? Can we do like a quick interview you during the season when you're at Milano?
Just to like kind of lift his spirits and
well, just like check in. It would be awesome to be able to have like a first level contact with a coach like that in the Super League.
It would be cool. I mean, if they keep winning, we're gonna keep interviewing him.
Yeah.
And Everett and Piazza's relationship is blossoming. It's really cute. I posted a photo of you two in the Discord already.
Did you?
Yeah.
Might get him flowers for the next one.
That would be awesome. Speaking of the Discord, join the Volleyball Source Discord. Links in the description. It's been popping off for all these matches. It's the best online volleyball chat community in the world. Where will Brema play next club season? Modena.
Oh yeah, we were talking about that.
Brema is going to Modena.
Yeah,
and I love that move. He's going to be one of the best middles in the league. It's going to be really fun to watch him there. Let's see. How do you feel about Canada's chances against Argentina? I mean, we'll talk about that. We will talk about that during the show when we preview the later matches. But before we get to that, we got to talk about the Japan games.
Yeah.
Anything else about Netherlands versus Germany?
No, I'm really surprised by how the Dutch have been playing. I think they've been really good. Piazza and Van Garderen made a point to point out Benny Toenstra, who came in in place of Dorna. On the left side, and I thought they've been doing good. Their middles have Wiltenberg has really impressed
I like
me.
him.
We don't really get to see him much in the club season because he's like the fourth middle on Zaxa. But I really like him, and I think he's one of those prospects that they're bringing in to kind of develop to maybe take over David Smith once David Smith is gone. You know, and Zaxa is one of those clubs to me that does that kind of stuff where they're always looking at the future.
Yeah, and it's funny, like normally you develop people on the national team level and they get playing time on the club level, but right now it's actually kind of the opposite for that kid in particular, which is funny. I liked this match. I wanted it to go actually a little bit further. I thought that Germany had good chances to take a set, but their vibes not very good right now.
No good vibes for Germany right now. But on the other side of the net for the Dutch, a lot of good vibes.
Good for them,
especially going into to a day off here.
Yeah.
So maybe they'll go shopping like Brazil is going to do. All right, let's jump over to Japan. First up last night was France versus China. You and I watched most of this one last night.
First three sets.
As we were going to bed. China made things a little interesting. The first set was pretty spicy. France took it. Second set was all China. And then France just kind of ran away with it after that and really put the pressure on.
Yeah.
Fogg was outstanding once again.
And we do make fun of China because of how bad they were most of last summer, but I said something last night that I wanted to repeat. China is not nearly as bad as the Korean women are relatively.
Oh yeah, I did tell you to say this.
The Korean women are so bad and will not win a match, will hardly win sets. Like the Chinese men are a lot more competitive than that. I do still think they're probably going to get relegated because their serving and passing is just really not up to the VNL level. But I mean, Zhang Xuan was really good, 14 for 26. Zhang Jingyin not nearly as good, and definitely tailed off after that second set that China was able to win. But
4% efficiency for Zhang there.
Not good enough.
No, but for France really, I talked about Carl, who who seemed to be, when we were watching, to be going off. But looking at these stats here, Timothée Carl had a match, 14 for 25, 52% efficiency. But then when you just look at the way that this offense is spread out, 17 for Tilly, 17 for Faure, 18 for Carl, and even 12 for Boltor in the middle. So Koch is doing just such a good job of just spreading that offense around.
Yeah. Quentin Jouffroy, though, not good at all. 2 for 12 negative
Yikes.
Efficiency. For a middle against China, you got to be better than that.
Especially, I'm surprised they kept him in that long.
Yeah, me too.
I'm surprised they didn't put anyone else in.
I do think that as far as if you want to nitpick any French weaknesses, after their top three middles and Boultour being the third guy, it drops off pretty significantly. They don't have a whole lot of middles in the pipeline right now.
I mean, their other two guys are pretty
fine.
pretty friggin' fantastic, and Boltor can come in and do a good job as well. So yeah. I don't think they're too worried about that.
I told you it was nitpicking.
Yeah, that is very nitpicky.
Yeah, it is. Kevin Tilly, pretty good, 16 for 29, 38%.
Good passing too.
Good passing, of course. I mean,
France's passing in this makes me like China might be
69% positive. Nice.
China might be the worst passing or serving team in the
absolutely
VNL.
are. I don't even think it's close. I think they're clearly the worst serving team in the tournament, and they're probably the worst passing team too. And that alone, even if you've got two good arms, is just a recipe for not having a very good season.
Yeah, absolutely. So I don't think there's anything much more to say about this one. France getting a good big 3 points there.
Yeah, France needed 3 points.
Yeah, over China. Next up, another 5-setter, Bulgaria versus Poland. This one, once again, didn't watch it. You guys can let us know in the chat if you did watch it, but it seems like it was a sloppy game. 34% efficiency for Poland and 36% efficiency for Bulgaria. We
were noticing that Nikolov got subbed out because of a pretty rough reception. It wasn't all that good offensively either.
No, got aced 5 times, did Nikolov.
That's not good. But even still, I think Bulgaria getting a point is not a bad result for them.
No, not at all.
Every point's going to matter in this relegation race for sure.
100%. I think we were discussing it last night that the relegation race is going to be so close, and it's going to be one of those things that you're going to have. Like, there's no Australia this year
right,
to save anyone.
Right.
So you're really gonna have to every match is gonna matter.
Yeah, it probably is going to come down to Bulgaria and China, who already played head-to-head, and then also Cuba, who plays the next match behind us here. If they go 0-3, I think they play Italy after this. If they go 0-3 with only 1 point, they're going to be in the picture for that as well.
They will
The Dutch
absolutely
now
be
is
in the
6
picture,
points. They look pretty clear. Canada with 2 points, but only having played 1 match right now. They look clear. Slovenia looks clear. I think unless Cuba turns it around, I think it's kind of a 3-team
I don't
race.
think anyone is clear right now.
No.
After week 1, I think that will really come up after week 2. Right?
Yeah.
After week 2, once you've played 66% of your matches, 2/3 of your matches, you're going to have a much better idea about who needs to perform going into that last week. But I think it's wide open right now. Like, there's no clear team that I think is going to be safe, and there's no clear team that I think is definitely getting relegated. But I do think the Dutch are looking really strong right now.
Yeah, I agree. Back to looking at this match, kind of for the second Poland game in a row. The first one, they went down 2-0 like against Iran the other night and made wholesale lineup changes. This time they went down 2-1 and made wholesale lineup changes to start the fourth, and they were able to rescue it. But I'm a little bit surprised with some of these Polish guys' inability to beat a team like Bulgaria. Like Butryn again wasn't all that good.
That's disappointing me, because we were
bummer.
so high on Butryn, and he had such a good first match here with the VNL.
This Szymanski kid, an outside hitter, I'm not really sure why he continues to start over a guy like Semeniuk, who came in off the bench for him. But
even like Szymanski's numbers are really good.
they are.
Right? He went 8 for 12, 58% efficiency. Like I maybe you're just wanting a different look altogether, but I'm not entirely sure why you would take him off in that situation. Once again, haven't seen the game, but looks like he was passing well, he was hitting well. He got an ace as well too, so that's interesting.
Gerbic changed 4 of the 6 starters to start the fourth set.
Yeah, Shalpuk is the only guy they kept in.
Shalpuk and Bieniek, and that was it.
Bieniek as well, yeah.
Just very interesting, and I would like to get a better download of these teams, but they're playing at 5 in the morning, and we have so much going on that we can't watch them live. But point in the chat, this Poland match showed how good Artur Shalpuk is playing right now, and I couldn't agree more. He has been awesome.
Well, last year, it was like our year-end review. We gave Boyer the comeback player of the year. I think for me, without a doubt, it's Artur Shalpuk right now.
Unquestionably.
He just looks like he's bounced back. And I mean, this is a guy who has won a world championship as one of the first guys off the bench for Poland back in 2018. I remember
he played meaningful minutes in that.
Well,
world
I remember.
championship.
So there's these podcasts that I've seen with some of the Polish guys that have come out where they're more in like casual situations, and they're always in Polish. So I've never listened to them, but I remember seeing something about how he was one of Heinen's favorites, and that was back in the Heinen area. And then of course, there's a change of coach and a change of program, and they kind of go a different direction. And he's kind of faded out a little bit, but it's really, really good to see Artur Shalpuk come back and be a dominant player. Because I remember last year, maybe the year before, I had brought him up, like, where's Shalpuk? And I kind of got laughed at in the Discord, being he's nothing.
He had been hurt and then faded into obscurity, but had a phenomenal year for Warszawa in club, and now here he is, making Gerbic's decisions for their 4, maybe 5 top outside hitters even more difficult.
Even more difficult.
Crazy.
Man, when you look at that squad that they could have on the outside, and between
Leon, Semeniuk, Slivka, Bednors, Fornal, Shalpuk, and even Kvolek.
Yeah, Kvolek you could
7 guys.
add in there
Good
too.
Good luck.
Yeah. So who do you pick, and who's good at the time? So it's not having Samuel Vuo's coaching made him decline, especially with all the OHs in Perugia.
I don't think that's a good take. Semeniuk never played for Samuel Vuo. They didn't overlap.
No, they didn't. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, I don't know what much more there is to say about Bulgaria and Poland. I don't know anything to say about Bulgaria. They are who we thought they were.
And they didn't let them off the hook.
No. Yep, not good enough. But Bulgaria getting a point, that might be significant for relegation. I do think we should move on to the last match overnight in Japan. The home team.
Yeah.
Japan 3-1 over Serbia in what I understand was a pretty darn good match.
The Discord's been telling us that this was one of the best matches so far of the tournament. I think we'd put it up there with last night's Brazil versus Argentina match. Just looking at the numbers, 48% efficiency for Japan, 45% efficiency for Serbia.
That's high level.
That's high level. In a 4-set match, that's really good. That means that the plays were happening. And the ball was flying. I mean, only 6 errors overall altogether with unforced errors and blocks for Serbia. That's fantastic. 16 on the other side for Japan. So it seems to me like Japan, well, I mean, yeah, look at these numbers. 24 points for Yuji Nishida. He was 22 for 32.
Wow.
That's big.
56% efficiency. That's phenomenal.
That's phenomenal. It's funny. All 3 of their outside hitters. It's 2 blocks, 2 errors for Nishida, 3 and 3 for Takahashi, and 2 and 2 for Ishikawa.
But yeah, all well above 30% efficiency.
Well
Ishikawa
above, yeah.
42, Takahashi 32, like that. Their offense just must have been great. Their passing numbers were good. Japan's serving numbers 6 aces, 18 errors, and this is really the thing as far as the stat sheet goes that I saw for Serbia. 2 aces, 22 service errors.
Yeah,
that is not good. And that's really the only thing statistically that it looks like they didn't do all that well is they lost the serve and pass battle.
Yeah, which I think is generally the idea when Japan plays anyone.
Yep.
They want to make that other team lose the serve and pass battle, and they want to win it. Because if Japan doesn't win the serve and pass battle,
game over.
Game over.
Yep.
Right. It's game over. I love their set of outsides that they have, but they need to be in system, and they need for the other teams to be out of system.
Right. And Japan's an outstanding passing team, so they usually do just fine in that area. I do want to shout out Kentaro Takahashi, one of the middles off the bench, to go 6 for 6. Pretty solid, pretty nice contribution coming in the second set. I know the Japanese fans call him Kenny, which is nice. Which reminds me of the South Park joke that was made overnight with Alan getting hurt is like Kenny getting killed in South Park.
Whoever made that.
Oh my God, they hurt Alan.
There's a dude sitting here, and here that.
He liked that joke.
Whoever made that joke in the Discord is awesome.
I think it was our Charney Rodham fan, our Polish
Orzi.
fan.
Orzi,
He
yeah.
woke up and made that joke. That was fantastic.
That was good. So we'll have to check in with Alan on tomorrow to see how he's doing, to see if he's going to be in the roster and stuff like that, or if they're going to be going with Abuba against the United States, or no, Cuba. They play Cuba tomorrow.
They do. Yeah, 6 points for Japan in 2 matches at home. I think they're.
I think they're really happy with that. Who do they have coming up?
Yeah. Do they have a tough week at all?
I think.
They have Bulgaria, easy money, and then France. But that's a B team.
Yeah.
We could be looking at double-digit points for Japan this week.
I think we saw that last year too. I'm pretty sure they started their year 4-0.
No, they didn't. The Japanese women had the really good start last year. The men were in Brazil and they lost to the U.S.'s B team.
I remember watching that.
Yeah, that was a weird one.
We were at Kraft over there.
Yes, we were.
And watching that one live. So, I mean, I think this is one of the few matches that I'd like to go back and watch.
Oh, definitely.
Just based off of the numbers and based off of what we heard from it. I'd really like to go back and watch this match and kind of see what it was like.
Yeah, I think we've summarized Japan in this way before, that I think this match kind of holds up with. Japan will beat teams that are ranked beneath them. And that's because they will out-detail them, they will out-precise them, they will out-execute them. But against a team that is bigger than them and more powerful than them, but also really detailed and precise, that's where Japan struggles in those matchups. So, what are the rankings right now? Japan's probably like 7 or 8, and Serbia's probably like 10 or 11. And Japan's record against teams, sure enough, 7 and 11. Great guesses.
Yeah, there's some little bit of movement. Japan bumped up 1. Argentina bumped down 1.
Japan with this win over Serbia just barely overtook
plus
Argentina.
+5. And then what was it for Argentina?
Argentina only lost 1 because of a 5-set loss to the number 3 team in the world. Yeah, so you're not going to drop that much for that. But yeah, Japan beats teams that are ranked beneath them. Japan is good. But can Japan punch above their weight class? That's been the age-old question since they've kind of been at this level.
I mean, I think they can. We saw them at the World Championships. Who did they play in the semifinals again?
They didn't play anyone in the semifinals.
No, sorry, in the quarterfinals.
France.
Was it France? And that match was amazing.
It was the round of 16, unfortunately for them, but that was an outstanding match.
Yeah. No, I thought Japan made it to the quarterfinals.
No, they didn't, because France lost to Italy in the quarterfinals.
Okay. That's possible. But yeah, I think I would love to see Japan kind of punch through at some point. They're always just kind of on the outside looking in.
Yeah.
Like they're in that A tier looking to get into that S tier.
Yeah, if they continue to be good this week, they're going to put themselves in a good seeding position when it gets to the finals probably. But can they win that first round game? Can they beat a team that might be ranked above them? I'm not sure. But they do look good so far from our very distant view on the other side of the world. We were definitely looking forward to watching them more the next couple weeks of VNL when we're not so dug in here in Ottawa and they're playing 12 hours away.
Yeah, absolutely. When the schedules are a little bit better, I think it's all in. I think it's in Rotterdam and Orléans.
Yeah, so all European next block, and that's actually kind of nice for us.
Yeah, just watch it during the day.
Starts
work
first
at night
thing in the morning.
Good to go.
Yeah, I like that.
Just to check in here on some of the top scorers so far. I know it's difficult because some teams have played 3 matches, some teams have only played 1. Namir leading VNL in scoring so far, even with just 13 points today. He's got 60 points. Luberic in second with 57. Zhang in third with 55, and Arthur Schalpuk in fourth with 50. Only four athletes who have over 50 points
they've
right now.
Played 3 matches and they've played 14 sets so far, which is a lot. So that makes sense on volume. But not to take away from how good of a year Schalpuk's having so far. He's been awesome.
No, he's been fantastic. Really, probably making Gerbich's decision making for not only the finals but the rest of the summer very difficult.
Indeed. Okay, so coming up later today here in Ottawa behind us at 4:30 local, about 2.5 hours from now, we've got Italy versus Cuba.
Yes.
And then following that, we've got Canada versus Argentina. I think all the games today, we were talking last night, this could be the best day we've had here in Ottawa so far as competitiveness level of matches. I think Netherlands versus Germany honestly should have been closer than it was.
I think it was closer than the score showed, especially in the third set. But even in that third set, Germany was making a push late.
Sure.
Piazza talked about it a little bit in our interview. So I don't think that 3-donging of a score shows as much as that game was a lot closer than it showed.
Right.
The Italy versus
Cuba, though,
that one's a toss-up for me. I think on paper it could be very, very good, but I think you could see, we've seen this Italian team struggle. So either they see this as an opportunity to kind of go at Italy and kind of let their skill and their system play really come to the forefront, and we're going to see if that's the case, I think we're going to see Cuba struggle with errors. But if Cuba comes out flying and going hard and serving tough, this might get interesting.
That, I think, is going to be the key matchup. I think it's going to be who can play the cleanest volleyball out of system. Because Italy has not passed the ball this week so far very well.
No.
They did not pass well against Argentina. They got served off the court by the United States yesterday. And Cuba is a gnarly serving team when they put the ball in play. So there's a great chance that Italy's wings are going to be hitting a lot of out-of-system balls. Can they... I mean, they're Italy. This is Italy we're talking about. This is the Italian system. This is the Italian, the quiet contact that we talk about, their touch, their feel for the ball, their discipline. Even with these young kids, I still expect them to make better out-of-system decisions than Cuba, but can they fight off the Cuban firepower? Because Cuba's just as scary out of system on pure physicality alone.
Because they're normally out of system.
Because they're always out of system. That's just their state of existence. Yeah.
There's a few things I'm going to be interested. This guy's loving it, right? No, it's great.
Live studio audience here at the Pregame Show.
Well, we should get some claps and a little laugh track too.
Yeah,
there we go.
Laugh track. That's the last thing we need.
But so there's a few things I'm looking for from Cuba. I want to see them bounce back mentally.
Agreed.
Right?
That's not an easy task for them.
I think that Concepcion could really, really have a game here.
In the middle.
If they run him a little bit slower, a little bit higher, and just let him swing away,
I want to see
Mosca and Cortesia cannot keep up with Concepcion.
Totally.
At all.
And in that same vein, I want to see Thorndike set.
Yeah, that was the last thing I was going to say.
Yep.
I think that if Thorndike comes in, just provides them a little bit different look, they might be able to get something out of it. Because I don't think... There's a few really good servers on this Italian roster, but there's a lot of other guys who even Cuba's going to be able to eat up.
All the middles on Italy are terrible at serving.
Bad servers. Bad servers. Yeah, exactly.
And we haven't seen Romano serve at all well this week.
No, I mean it's not a gut check time. We're not in a pressure situation. Romano is only good when there's something on the line, and then he's fantastic, and then he's unreal.
Otherwise, he just doesn't care, and then it's just not good. He's just a non-factor.
So I think this game is we know what we know what to expect from Italy. I feel like Italy's performance, Italy's level is what it is.
I agree.
Right?
They're low ceiling.
They're always going to be steady, but they can't really get much higher. However, Cuba is the big question.
The ultimate wild card in this tournament.
Always, right? They can be world class and beat anyone, and they can also lose to anyone.
They can also look like a high school team.
Absolutely.
So that I think makes any Cuban match must watch. It's actually really fun. Lopez has got to step up a little bit. Carla in the chat, I agree.
100%.
He hasn't been a difference maker from the service line. He hasn't been a difference maker attacking. He's the primary guy in rotation 1 on the right side, and he's been getting clamped way too many times. I expect a little better from him in that area, and but against Italy, I think this is a matchup where he can maybe pop off a little bit. I think this might be the Lopez game.
I've been waiting for Lopez to pop off as a left side hitter. Internationally, because every time I've seen Lopez in a fantastic situation, he's always been on the right.
Yeah.
I'm looking back at 2019 Orsika's 2020 Olympic qualifiers. The only times I've seen him be somewhat good is when playing for Sada Cruzeiro in the Superliga.
Yep.
But other than that, like last year at the World Championships, we picked him as one of our breakout players and someone who could really make a name for themselves, and he was average at best. And so far this week, it's kind of been the same thing. I don't know if it's the setting. Well, it's definitely the setting.
Definitely the setting.
It's definitely the setting. Don't get me wrong, but it seems to me like Cuba has a very specific system that no matter who's on the right side, we're going to give them a lot of volume, because we're seeing Herrera get a lot of volume, same as Lopez before. But I don't know if Lopez is as comfortable hitting the outside ball as he is on the right side. But even his serving has been bad this
it has.
This week.
I want to see him rip balls out of the pipe too. That hasn't happened. That definitely comes back to the setting. But Cuba's Cuba. Cuba is a wild card. I think it's fun. Cuba's potential range is crazy wide like this. Italy's potential range is a lot more narrow like this. Where do we find Cuba today? That's going to determine this outcome.
Yeah, I'm really hoping they show up. I'm hoping they show up and win so we can interview Herrera.
That would be really fun. It would be fun.
I'm gonna fully cheer for Herrera today.
Good. Yeah.
I'm gonna be Herrera's friend today. And like, I want my dream scenario is like he gets a big kill, comes back to serve, and dabs me up.
That would be sweet.
That's what I'm going for.
That is not out of the question at all. I'll be right with you. I do kind of want to see Cuba win this match.
Yeah, I want them to feel like when they're not playing Canada or the U.S., I want Cuba to feel the love.
Yeah. They deserve it.
Like let's support. Norsika supports Norsika. Okay, we gotta have that synergetic fusion.
Speaking of Norsika, it feels like it's been a long time, Everett, since we've talked about the Maple Volleys.
It has been a long time.
They beat Cuba like a million years ago.
What feels like a million
3
years
nights
ago,
and now they're back against an old classic foe who has knocked you out of many an international tournament. It's Argentina. And Argentina is just coming off kind of a heartbreaking loss last night. And I expect fireworks here. Friday night, prime time game in Ottawa. Home crowd. We're expecting this place to be packed.
Yes.
I think this is going to be electric. I think both teams are in about as good a form as we could expect from either one,
I mean, I think Argentina's playing fantastic right now.
I agree.
I really do. I think on the other side of things for Canada, we've played one match. Everyone I talked to agreed that it wasn't our best match. It wasn't our prettiest match, but we were happy getting the win out of the way. So there's still so many question marks for me in this Team Canada. What are we going to look like? How are we going to play? Who are we going to start? Right? There's so many questions, and I just don't know what that looks like just yet. I really don't. Tonight is going to show us a lot more, because stylistically we match up well against Cuba.
Yes.
Right? We know how to exploit Cuba. We've been doing it for a decade plus now.
Yes, you have.
I remember one of the biggest breakthroughs was the junior team beating Cuba back at the 2010 junior, like Norsika juniors. And that was, like Nick Hogue and all those guys. Micah Christensen was 16 years old, team captain of the USA. But that was when we started to pick them apart with our heads.
Yes.
And not trying to just play on a physical level with them.
You can't pick Luciano Diceco apart with your head the same way you can pick apart Cuba.
Absolutely not. And I just think that the general skill over around, like the way like Polonsky's been playing, Danani, Lima's been fantastic.
Yeah.
I really think Canada has to target Vincentine a lot of the same way that Brazil was last night. If they can get Vincentine off his game, then I think Canada has a chance to really get going, and I think we really need to see a solid game from Stephen Marr. Stephen Marr needs to be the best player in this game for Canada.
He does. I think the key matchup here is Canada from the service line, because if you let Diceco have all of his options, he is going to make the Canadian blockers look silly.
Yeah.
And that's nothing against the Canadian blockers or their block system, but it's just what Luciano Diceco does. It's who he is. It's what his career has been, especially the Losair relationship in the middle. As I was watching Losair last night create those separation, those drift routes, just the beauty that is that Argentinian offense when it's in system.
It's especially with our middles too, because we have two middles who play in the French league, right? They're not necessarily in the best leagues.
I don't think they're ready to stop Losair when Argentina's in system, and that's why I think that Canada must be good from the service line.
Yeah, absolutely. I don't even know who do you match up. Like, do we go with Van Berkel and Demyanenko? Do we go with Pierzashenko? Like, I'm not entirely sure. I think just in the TED, I think Demyanenko matches up best with Losair just because they're both kind of the same size and they're both springy. They're both fast. Like, to me, one of the guys next up in Losair's style of play is Demyanenko, where he's a little bit smaller, but his time from ground to air is really quick.
We saw that from Losair last night, how quickly he got off the ground and blocked that middle
ball. I posted
a
a clip on Volleyball Source 2.0, the Instagram page. You need to go check it out. And just, the ball's already set to Flavio or Ottavio. I can't remember which OVO it was. And between when the ball is set and when he's starting a swing, Losair goes from being on the ground watching to being in his face. He's so quick. He's so fast. And he gives so many different looks offensively. So I think that one is going to be a struggle. To me, this game is really going to dictate how I feel about the Maple Volleys moving forward through this summer, right? Even in a loss, if we can show some good things and some good improvements, I'll be happy. But I also have a feeling that things could potentially get out of hand here.
It's possible. I think that the schedule has actually kind of worked out well for Canada because they got a Cuba game out of the way quickly, where all they really had to do is focus on their own side in that match and play as cleanly as they could, and just take points where they could get them. And when Cuba out-physicaled them, like whatever, let it roll off your back a little bit. But now they've had 2 days to scout Argentina.
Yes.
Last night, as we were watching them play Argentina play Brazil, we saw the whole Canadian coaching staff sitting right down here behind us. That this is where, exactly like you said, Canada's going to have to start using their brains to win this match a lot more than anybody really has to against Cuba. And it starts with serving and passing for sure. If they can win the serve and pass battle, Canada definitely has a chance. But I would not pick it personally. I'm gonna go ahead and put Argentina 3-1 on the record as my prediction.
I'm going Canada in 5.
Okay.
I'm not going to go against Canada here.
No.
But
and nor should you. But I do like Argentina's offense against Canada's block. And while people are talking about Argentina's reception unit, I still don't think Canada is as good of a serving team as Brazil was last night. So I expect the Argentinian offense to look pretty good. We're going to have a great time watching Pacheco. At least I will. Everett's going to have a terrible time watching Pacheco against this team tonight.
Oh, man. You know what? I hope they just rest him. Bring in Sanchez. Brian likes that one. I just, I really like this Argentinian team. I think we got to see. It's the old Instagram link in there right now. I'm looking for
I'll fix it.
Do you think it's just going to work like that?
Yep.
Let's see. We'll see.
I just updated the link in the description.
I'm really hoping that Argentina has an off night tonight. we really need it. So I want Argentina to have an off night.
So
tonight.
Obviously if Canada, regardless of the result, Everett will interview Canada. But if Argentina wins, I'd be happy to talk to those guys and not put you through that. It'll be. I think it'll be good. It'll be a good match. The crowd's going to be awesome. I think Canada will draw from the crowd a little bit, but I am decently confident in the Argentinian system, passing, setting, attacking.
So am I. But I'm also like, I just don't know enough about this Canadian team.
It's true. It's only their second match of a new era with a new coach. There's a lot of unknowns.
And Semyon Vuo was like a tight walnut that you just can't crack. You
were making the joke that you found it almost easier to talk to Piazza.
It has been easier to talk to Piazza than Semyon Vuo. But
hilarious.
just think that's kind of how he is. So yeah, I mean, I think tonight, I'll regardless of what happens, I'm going to interview Mike Hawkins, who's one of the assistant coaches, and Hawk and I go way back.
Hawk is a legend.
He's a beauty, and I think I'm going to get a little bit more out of him than I will with Semyon Vuo.
I like that.
Yeah, maybe see if I can find Semyon Vuo on Sunday night afterwards and find him maybe like share a whiskey with him or something. See if we can get on his good side that way.
That would be an experience and one that I would like very much. So 2 matches here behind us: Italy, Cuba. Oh, we didn't make any picks. So what's our picks for Italy versus Cuba?
I'm going Cuba. Cuba 3-1. Cuba 3-1. I think that their coach is going to threaten their citizenship if they don't get a win here.
That would be a gift to them.
I mean, hey,
that would be a gift to them. I mean, I picked Cuba the other day against whoever it was, against the Netherlands, I guess, and I just didn't. I wasn't impressed. I did not think the vibe was very good. I think that if Cuba starts Thorndike, they have the best chance. But I think their coaching staff is so brain dead that they might roll out Tabawada for 2 sets, go down 0-2, and not be able to bring it back. I'm going to take Italy 3-1.
All right, fair enough.
I will put on the record I'm rooting for Cuba. I would like to see them win, but I think it's Italy 3-1.
Yeah, we're big Herrera fans today.
We are.
We're big Herrera fans today. So.
All right, so those are our picks. We'll be back after the Canada match tonight to break it all down.
And then you picked 3-1 for Argentina?
I did.
I picked Canada in 5.
Okay. Yep, those are the picks. We'll see who's right.
We'll see who's right.
We're going to get some interviews up.
What's your guys' picks for tonight? Italy? Both Italy?
We've got an Italy pick.
Yeah.
We've got a
Cuba pick. Next
How about Argentina Canada?
Okay. There we go. Yeah.
Two
Candidates. Hey, I like that. Okay.
Good.
Our in studio audience here
got some guest pickers on the show.
Is giving us some insight there. But
this will be fun. So 2.5 hours. We've got some time.
Yeah,
we've got some time before.
Let's go have a salad and maybe a beer or two.
Let's do it.
Yeah. All right, guys. Thank you very much. Don't forget to go over to our new Instagram account, Volleyball Source 2.0. Give us a like. Get us back in. We're back from the dead on Instagram. I did see Finn Taylor walking around here from the FIVB. Might go have a chat with him just to see what's up with all of that. Why can't
he can undelete our old Instagram account?
Yeah, exactly. that would be lovely. And then who knows?
Good games tonight.
Good games tonight.
Seriously, where is Jan Torena sitting the bench where he properly belongs on the Cuban team? But Margarejo hasn't been good this week, so maybe we see Yant again.
Yeah, it's been, once again, the outsides for Cuba. Just so hot and cold.
All right.
Little Katy Perry right there.
Join the Discord. Check us out on Instagram. Check me out on Instagram as well. I'm posting about a lot of USA stuff. I'm going to do a fun little edit of the Taylor Averill Max Holt interview from yesterday, that was something.
And go check out that volleyball.store.
Yep, all the links in the description. We'll see you tonight. Enjoy the 2 games, and we'll see you in the Discord. Peace.